put your hands together for Reneé Rapp. Oh my God. Someone left you a little something, something.
Oh my God, how cute. Oh, and it's somebody who knows me very well because they did the accent on my name on the last E, which I'm super picky about. So thank you. None of my school teachers did that for me. Yeah.
Off to a good start.
Very sweet.
So like I said, I'm pumped. This is a big week for you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, we have Snow Angel coming out in 48 hours less.
I think.
Are we keeping track? Are we trying not to?
I usually... Fire. So 25 hours.
Whoa. Okay.
Quick. No. Good math. Because let me tell you one thing. I'm not doing it.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so 25 hours around. That sounds perfect.
So obviously I'm sure a full length feels a little different from releasing an EP.
Uh-huh.
What are some of the biggest changes that you're noticing this week, just in how you feel and how you're getting ready?
I think a ton of things. I think, like, first and foremost, I feel much more sure of myself with this album. And that's not to say that, like, I feel like these are so much better. Or but I do feel like I spent a lot of time trying to make sure that this was sonically very individual and felt like all of like my greatest influences all like tied up in a little bow and then like spat back out through like my mouth and how that should be done. So I'm really proud of the version of this sound that we've come up with, and I don't think it was that way on the EP. On the EP, I had just been recording a bunch of songs for maybe like 7 months, and then Adam, my manager, was like, so you will tour? And I was like, no, I'm not going to. And not at all. And he was like, yeah, and you will put out a little project before then. And I was like, no, that's actually wrong. I was like, that actually won't be happening. And I've been saying that for years, mind you. I've been talking so much shit on the internet since like 2016 of like, my single coming soon. Mind you, this is something I did when I was in high school. Like, I've been doing that, okay? So the EP was just like floating out there. And I was like, I guess I like this. This I actually really like. Yay.
I mean, I've been fortunate enough to hear it. I really love it. It's
Thanks.
so good. We've all heard some singles, so we kind of know, but there's
Thanks.
some surprises.
Yeah.
I know your inspirations they cover a range of music.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this is everything? Is there something you didn't get to do on here that we'll get next time around? Like, who are the people that really inspired you on this record?
You know, I think that I have like a big 3 of musical influences. Frank Ocean obviously is like everyone in the audience who's been with me for maybe even 2 days is like, no, we know. We're very aware. I make it very public and a really big deal. That is my baby's father. I love him so much. I became like obsessed with Frank Ocean when I was a kid. Really, 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 really young. Maybe just fresh double digits kid. And I was so obsessed, and I love Nostalgia Ultra, and I thought that his songwriting and sonic choices were really thoughtful and intricate, and it didn't sound like to me that he was trying to like fit into any sort of like lane that would suit him or feel like, oh, this is gonna work right now. It felt very individual. So I love Frank Ocean. And I've also recently become obsessed with Grammy mommy Casey Musgraves. Love Casey Musgraves, yeah. And I grew up in North Carolina, and so you would think that, really? Damn. No, yeah, woo! No, I am obsessed with it. It's great. Yeah, so growing up like in the South, I detested country music, frankly. But that was because I didn't like the culture or lack thereof that was around country music where I grew up. And basically, like, the kids who listened to that kind of music were the kids that, like, you had to, like, protect yourself around and, like, protect your friends around. So I had a really tough time with it. And that didn't even mean that I didn't like the genre. It just meant that that was not at all in my wheelhouse or in my, like, forefront of something I wanted to consume or be a part of. And then, like, a year ago, maybe a little bit more at this point, maybe a year and a half, I had just gotten out of a really, really, really tough breakup. And like maybe a week after that, I was with my friends, and they were like, "Oh, we love Casey Musgraves." And this was like a friend who I regarded really highly in music at the time. And and yeah, and I was like, you know, I think she's cool. I think she's super cute. She's very hot. I think she has a great voice. That's awesome. I've never really listened to her stuff. And he played me Camera Roll. And yeah, and I was like blown away. I was blown away. And it made me really, 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 really love country music. Like really love country music. And that's just not something that I thought about ever enjoying, frankly. But she has an incredible tone. Her pen is unmatched. She's an incredible songwriter, and I feel like she's really intricate with every lyric that she chooses. And I also know that she's really involved in like the instrumentation of her songs, and that's something that's really important to me, because I think that, at least in my opinion, that makes you a really like well-rounded artist and makes everything make sense, as opposed to just slapping some songs on and dancing, which I also think is hot. Let's be clear. I just am not that person. So yeah, I love Casey. And then I grew up on the Carpenters. I listened to the Carpenters. That's a woo that I want. Yes, that's right. My dad like raised me on the Carpenters and talked about Karen Carpenter like she was God. And to be honest, she is for me. Yeah, she has an incredible tone and is unmatched. And she also like openly, I guess now, like struggled with a lot of eating disorders, and that's something that I've also been fairly open about, that I've dealt with. So it's all very roundabout, because one of the Carpenter song is like "They Long to Be," and then parentheses "close to you," I think, and then Stevie Wonder sampled it and did a talk box version on like a late night show, and then Frank Ocean sampled the Stevie Wonder talk box version and made "Close to You" on Blonde, which is my favorite album, and I do have a tattoo of it. So yeah, those are my three gods.
That was phenomenal.
Thanks.
No further questions.
Yeah, no, I'm like, and that's, yeah, those are the girls.
And that's that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, given what you just said at the end there, are you like falling into rabbit holes on the internet often with music, doing like music history research, or how are you discovering new and old songs?
I was really lucky. I grew up with like my parents as my biggest musical influences. And that's not to say that they're amazing. My dad's here somewhere, but like my dad works in like medical sales and my mom is like a CPA. So they're not like they're not like Lenny Kravitz. Like we're not really getting that. But I do appreciate it, and I appreciate the thought. But I did have parents with amazing music taste. Thank you guys for thinking I'm funny. Keep it up. Keep laughing. I love a trail away laugh. It's just like, she's so good. Keep it. Do more. Yeah, so my parents have amazing music taste, and they also have very different music tastes. So like with my dad, I grew up listening to like Yes and like The Outfield and like very like classic rock. And not a lot of current music at the time that I was growing up, frankly. But then with my mom, I had a completely different set of like true singers. Like I had like Beyonce was always like who I wanted to be. That's another woo that I like. Aretha Franklin was everything. That's another woo that I like. And I had like Jasmine Sullivan. Thank you. So my mom was so heavily R&B vocalist influenced, and also loved like the Gap Band and things like that. So I had not as many applause for men, but I do like they can still have an applause. But yeah, so I had a really eclectic music taste growing up. And so I think all I do is go down rabbit holes of that stuff. Recently, and then when I was in high school, which is how I found the Stevie Wonder video, I was like, I got so obsessed with Snarky Puppy and Layla Hathaway. I think they're an amazing jazz band, and most of the stuff that they do is like improv, and it's fucking incredible. And Layla Hathaway, if you guys don't know, it can harmonize with herself, and it is unreal. You have to look up this video of Layla Hathaway and Snarky Puppy doing like a live set, and they invite people, and basically you sit in kind of a room like this, but it's like in the round, and everybody puts on headphones, so you're listening to the music through a mix, and it's only like 15 people. It's incredible. But I love Layla Hathaway. She can harmonize with herself, and it's unreal. She does it in like perfect thirds. It's so cool. So yes, I'm always in a rabbit hole.
Yeah. I kind of love that you geek out on music when you're in the studio.
Yeah.
So like take us to the studio for the sessions for this debut album. Are you similarly super detail oriented, obsessing over every line, every melody, everything?
Yes.
And as a result, is like, what's the song that you're most proud of that puts all that together the best?
I think the song that I'm most proud of is I Hate Boston. Yes, so I did just do the Boston local news today, by the way. We put up, I went from the Boston local news to the GRAMMY Museum. It's a good pipeline. We put up like billboards in Boston that said in big capital letters, I hate Boston. For marketing, and it was super well received by everybody who's there. Yes, they loved it. They fucking hated it. But I had fun. I'm really proud of I Hate Boston because In the Kitchen was a ballad that I wrote off my EP. Thanks.
So good.
Another woo I will accept. Thank you, I appreciate it. And In the Kitchen was my favorite ballad at the time that I had ever written. And it was honestly something I didn't think that I was capable of writing, to be fair. I've always idolized amazing songwriters, and honestly, I just never saw myself in that light, and it was a huge insecurity of mine. And In the Kitchen was a big turning point in my career for that. So after I wrote that, I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to write anything like that ever again. And I was like, well, my career has come to an end, and I won't be doing anything anymore. Actually at all, just putting up billboards of cities that I hate. In the hometown. So, then when we started writing I Hate Boston, I remember, like, being in the studio and, like, jumping. I'm a very, like, physical songwriter. I get really giddy, and I'm very twitchy, and I don't know what that means about me or my mental health, but I don't care. I love it. It's my favorite feeling ever. It genuinely is, like, the best drug in the world to me. It feels like I'm, like, tweaking. It's amazing. It's literally amazing. It's like a high. It's unreal, and it's very cathartic. And when we were writing I Hate Boston, I absolutely felt that way. And I was jumping around the room with a writer that I work with, DeLacy, who's exactly the same as me. Yeah, she's amazing. And we were just, like, going up and down. We were like, this is really good. This is really good. And Ian Fitchuk, who was doing the production with Rob Bissell, Ian was like, amazing, you guys. Yep, obsessed with it. So we do have to write the verse. We do, like, chill, actually, because you don't even have the full thing done.
Yeah.
But I felt like that was a song that was really lyrically specific. And then after that, Alexander and I went through and...
Great woo.
We love him. No, we love him. That was a good woo. I like that one. He's fine. No, he's the best. But we live re-recorded everything on the track. Everything. So we took it from a very different direction into something that was, we re-recorded the piano maybe like 3 or 4 times with different pianists. And we would go and like sit in like a really tiny like warehouse room in like Burbank where I used to live. And we would just sit in there all like squished together and just like watch our friend play and be like, nice. Good. And he would do something incredible and we'd be like, do it again. Mind you, we're just like directing at this point. We're like, we like that. But we were so specific and so picky about it. And there were so many mixed passes of it. And I'm very proud of it. Very proud of it.
Was there, yes, a good woo.
Good woo.
Was there a lot left over that didn't make it?
Like, no. No. Because I don't like to throw away songs. Like, even if it's something that I don't think I'm gonna like, I'm still going to attack the living hell out of it. And don't get me wrong, I write some flop songs that y'all don't hear. I want to make that abundantly clear. There's some bad shit, okay? But it's become like a big part of my process as a songwriter and as somebody who cares so deeply about music and the way that it's made. I think like there's a couple songs that I'm obsessed with that will inevitably come out that just didn't fit the same sonic palette as this album does, and I felt like that was like the next kind of era. Yeah,
That's a little tease.
I'm very happy about that. But no, I have throwaway songs, but I don't like to just like discard them. I really like to see them through, and I really like to try and make the most of it. And I also don't write about things I don't care about. I'm very anal about the way that I write. It means everything to me. It's the only way I feel like I communicate properly, and it's the only way I've ever felt understood in my whole life. Yeah. So it's super important. But yeah.
One question about Alexander. So I think you said in an interview he like never cries.
Never.
Was there a song though that got him close in the studio?
Oh my God, there not a song but a situation where he was like, I'm gonna cry. I wish I could remember it. This was so special to me. Yeah, he was like, wait, I'm about to be in tears. And I was like, oh, heard.
Starts filming.
I was like, nice. I was like, go for it, you little crybaby. No, oh my God, I can't remember what it was. But it was, no, I know exactly what it was. It was when we were getting ready to finish mixing everything. And 23 is the very first song that we wrote together. Or maybe the second, and the first was a throwaway. So again, there are some that don't work. But that was the first day that we had met, and we wrote 23 January 9th of this year, right before I turned 23 the next day. Yay. And that was the song that made me absolutely fall in love with Alexander. I was like, this is perfect. I was like, he gets it. Like, as a producer and as someone who is A, willing to listen to me, and B, values my opinion when it comes to songwriting, melodies, of course, but also like instrumentation, that's like respecting me as an artist. That is respecting me as an artist. And you would think that that's like a basic thing, but it really wasn't for the first couple years of me working. So that meant everything to me. So we were going through all the mix passes, and one of the final songs to like approve and get done was 23. And this was like after the album's already done, and it was this like big emotional thing because he texted me and he was like, I just opened up 23 for the first time in like 6 months because we finished the song immediately. Had nothing to do on it. And he was like, I'm mixing it and I'm literally about to sob. And I lost it, of course, which is not news to anyone, but I was so emotional because I was like, I care. It's gonna make me cry. Which again is no news to anyone. Yeah, I do this shit all the time. But it was, I feel like I found my like musical partner that really respected me. And I did not have that for a very long time. And I think a lot of like women in music go through that. And are really disrespected and disregarded by a lot of men who work in music. And I've been very, very, very fortunate to now have like the best boys around me. They're few and far between, don't get me wrong. Y'all better keep your spot. But Alexander is one of them. And it was the coolest moment for me. Because I felt like, oh, somebody else also sees me as an artist that I see myself as, which is really validating.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you can make him cry a little bit in the process, like, hats
I
off.
wish. By the way, he like didn't.
But close.
I know.
We'll get
one
there.
day.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow, to be honest.
Yeah.
He better. I'll film. Oh, I will live stream it.
Thank you.
I'll like put a phone in his face and I'll be like, yeah, cry. Yeah. I'll like bully him.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Given everything that you just said, like feeling seen and, you know, seeing yourself as a songwriter and an artist right now, going from playing characters to this, what has that done for you mentally, like as a human, just being yourself right now and having so many people connect with it?
two things in two like kind of separate ways, I guess. At first, it was a real mind fuck, because I have always wanted to do this and like sit here and do this, right? So that was something that was always my dream, and I started acting to service that dream. To be honest, and I don't say that in a way to be like, yeah, and that was to do this. It's like, I did not think that I was capable of doing that. I only saw this. Never in my life did I think anybody would pay me to act. Which, damn. but yeah. Yeah, I just didn't see that. So it was a real mind fuck in the beginning because I was like, oh my God, I really hope that people also would be willing to see and maybe get to know this other side of me, which is my most important side, at least I think, to myself. Yeah. Thanks, another woo. Yeah. So it's a mind fuck. It also has been so helpful, and I cannot say like enough good things about actors, and writers and people who like craft everything we consume. 'Cause it has taught me a lot. Like, I'm a good songwriter because I'm a theater kid. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's
like,
a big woo.
But it's true. Like, there is a certain, like, narrative-driven story that is so influential of pop music, and of music, period. Like, and that all comes from that. So I've learned so much from it, and it has been a huge blessing to be able to do some of that stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
Why do you think you grew up an entertainer? Like, you loved to entertain from day one. Why do you think that is? And I mean, are you finally starting to realize like this is your job? This is what you're doing, and this is what people are wanting, to just listen to you and watch you be you?
Even when people didn't want to listen to me and watch me do this, I was really loving it, I was really, and that's not to say that I don't love it in this way. I just feel like I have a good community now, and that I feel much more accepted, I guess, in all the little quirky things. Thanks, girl. But I have always just done it. I mean, I used to piss so many people off in my family, dude. Like, I used to be like, there is a concert tonight on the fireplace. Be there or shut up. And I would write invitations on paper plates and like run through the neighborhood, which is a very small, not even a neighborhood, it's a cul-de-sac, let's be clear. In Huntersville, North Carolina, which is very, very country. And I would like run around like naked in the neighborhood as like a very young toddler and pass out paper plates to neighbors. And I'd be like, show up. What else are you doing? Nothing. You're rotting away in the South. You're not doing anything else. And so I did it whether anybody liked it or not. And then when I got to high school, I started posting singing videos on the internet. And I will never forget, just because these situations I just don't forget. Definitely forgive. Do not forget. And the forgiveness is more internal. I don't like to say it out loud. Yeah. No, but I used to make these videos of me singing, and I used to post them online. And there were these senior girls when I was a freshman in high school who I know. No, I agree. Who would tweet and go on Twitter back when like subtweeting was like the biggest thing ever, and they would like all like post about it and be like, oh my God, like this bitch thinks she can sing and da 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 da, and she sounds terrible, and it was a lot, and it was like really talked about, at least like in my friend group. Everybody would send me them, which also was probably not the best thing to do. But I get it, visibility. No bad press is just press. But I never stopped posting them. Like, don't get me wrong, it hurt my feelings. I used to cry all the time, and I really wanted those girls to like me so bad. I used to like try to like get better and be like, okay, well, maybe they'll like this Tink cover, like maybe this will be something that they'll like, and they never did, but now they fucking do, because yeah, Yeah, and I understand it. I understand because, trust me, I was probably an ass as a kid so many times, more than I care to admit. I will probably be an ass tomorrow in some way that I don't mean to. I just will. Like, that is just inherently a part of being a human, unless you're perfect in God's gift, and then congratulations. But it really hurt my feelings. And so now I actually really appreciate when those same girls are like, go girl, like, I see you, like, da-da-da-da. I'm like, thanks. Like, I appreciate it. I actually do in a way, like, thank you. Because that validation, sadly, would have meant a lot to me in high school when you're, like, saying the opposite. So it's nice to hear it now, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is it never once deterred you, you know?
Say again?
It never once deterred you.
What does that mean? Oh, it never once deterred me.
Yeah. I'm like,
I was like, what did you just say?
I was starting to wonder what I just said.
No, that's fine. It's a me thing. It's a me thing.
It never made you stray from your path.
That's right. I was like, what? I was like, am I crazy?
I was like, I gotta stay away from certain words, I guess.
No. You're doing great. I'm overtired.
Killing it.
No. Yes, perfect. It did not deter me.
Yes.
It's just a blind keep going thing. My neighbors were so pissed too about the whole like paper plates thing. They're also homophobic, so not all of them. Yeah, I know. I'm like, your daughter-in-law's in love with me. Shut it. Shut up. Yeah.
No lie.
Yeah.
You mentioned your amazing community. We talked the other day. I'm obsessed with your fan club. We have
me too.
The Young Ex-Wives. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure you're all here. Yeah. Just iconic.
They're good. They're good, man.
I mean, what's it like to interact online and just get to know these people or see them at your shows and just kind of be a part of something that you represent, but that's bigger than you too?
It is so cool. It is so cool. And it's very cool. Guys, shut up. Guys, shut up. It's very cool, and I feel very lucky and very fortunate because, like, before the, like, Young Ex-Wives, there was, like, my mom, dad, and grandma. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And, like, those people existed to come to my Fireplace concerts and do that and support me. And, like, my really good friends from home showed up at everything I did. They came to my musicals. They came to my, like, weird shows in the absolute middle of nowhere, North Carolina, like, in really sus situations sometimes. I've done some crazy things. I was in a girl group. Yeah, it was called Daddy's Little Girls, if you didn't know, sir. It was crazy. It was crazy. But, yeah, so they were, like, the original, like, pack. You know, they would come for me, and they would show up. And so now it's very cool to still have, luckily, my parents and grandparents and those friends with me still, but I feel like that community has just kind of expanded, and it feels really great. And I also, like, love more than anything, like, they all fuck with each other. They all fuck with each other. No, like, everybody, I swear to God, like, I see, like, Ryan or, like, anybody at these things, and I'm like, you guys are all friends. Like, we're in group chats together, and we'll talk every now and again, because I'm like, how are we? Like, are we good? We're doing great, right? Like, and they're a real tight community, and it's a lot of, like, queer or queer-adjacent people. Yeah, which is super exciting, and I honestly just feel very spoiled to be in their company, so, yeah.
It's the coolest thing.
Yeah, love you too. Yeah, love you.
Show up. Before we get to fan questions, we have to talk. You have a lot still coming. This album is like step one. There's a tour.
That's right.
Tell us.
Yeah. Woo-hoo. Say again. To where? Oh, to LA. I was like, I'm not going to Greece, I don't think.
Now you are for 2 nights.
I was like, tell Adam, find Adam. Find Adam. Bim.
So,
just kill him.
Tell us what we can expect without giving too much away.
I'm so excited for tour. This is the first, thanks. This is the first, well, obviously, I guess. I didn't really understand much about touring, about like how it worked. I didn't really understand anything other than making music up until a smooth 6 or 7 months ago. There's so many little like ins and outs and specifics and like how to like send your song to like a DSP. And to be clear, I still don't even really know that. That's another like find Adam. Find Adam. But I've like learned so much, and I've also been to so many amazing live shows recently of artists that I really, really, really look up to and think the world of. And somebody just whispered,
so
Taylor Swift. Yeah. I just went to the Eras Tour, and it was amazing. It was unreal. Like it's a different level of endurance. It's a different level of like commitment, and whether it's accurate or not, it's a different level of confidence. And you have to be really, really sure of yourself. And I definitely don't feel that way all the time. But I do kind of when I'm touring. And so I'm really excited because I came up with the creative, and I love it so much. And I'm so excited. And I think it's going to be really, really fun.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
We all can't wait.
Thanks.
Adding second dates everywhere.
Second dates everywhere.
Have fun.
I get very tired, just to let y'all know. So, no. I get tired.
Okay, so we have some amazing handwritten fan questions here.
Okay.
Sarah,
Where are you?
Show yourself.
Hi, baby.
I don't know if I could say this, but I'm obsessed with your handle.
What is it?
I mean, sorry, GRAMMY Museum, at Young X Slut.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
Love.
your question is, if you could make a short film based on one of the non-single songs from the album, which song and why? That's a phenomenal question.
I know, and I already have it planned out, and it's been planned out for months. I hate Boston, and here's what it would be, okay? I love thinking of a visual when I'm writing something, or even after something is made, and I think the coolest video concept / short film, which we would probably have to have Aaliyah direct, is, yeah. For those of us who don't know, Aaliyah is my best friend in the whole wide world, and she also directs so many of my music videos, and is like my like creative confidant. She's amazing. Just for context, Aaliyah Chanel Scott, if you want to look her up. Nothing. Yeah, but so it would be I Hate Boston. And basically it would be like, you know how like you have those like, I forget what that movie's called, but it's basically like little like clay figurines. Sure. Love it. Claymation. Fine. Claymation. But it would be like this little like set of things that basically looked like a very like small version of the city of Boston, right, in this place, and it would have certain like things, and one would be like Fenway Park, and another one would be like Cape Cod and things like that, like outside, but you get it. And it would be all of these things where you would like see these little figurines of like me and like whoever I'm with, and you would like go in, you would put it down, and it would like zoom in, and then it's like me in the middle of like Fenway Park, and I'm singing, and everybody around me is just rooting for some baseball game, right? And I'm like, no. And I'm having a moment, sobbing even. And just, it would be that at different places in and around Boston. And I've wanted to do that for so long since I wrote it. So we'll see. Yeah. But that's just like something I thought of off the top of my head. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not premeditated.
Yeah, no. Very chill.
Okay, so Casey, I'm going to read the PS first from Casey. You're my fave 2018 Jimmy Award winner. Don't tell Andrew.
Thanks.
What is one piece of advice you'd give to aspiring artists or even your younger self, knowing how much you've achieved these past few years?
I always say this, but I feel so weird giving advice because, like, internally, I would be like, please don't ever take advice from me. Like, if I wasn't myself and I was someone else, I'd be like, please don't take advice from that bitch. Like, please. Like, she does things behind the scenes, you know? Just be careful. But if I were to give advice, it would be as follows. I, for so much of my life, and I still do, don't get me wrong, like, we have not outgrown this. Also, where's Casey? Okay, I was wondering if I was looking at you. Hi, baby. I, for so much of my life, lived with immense guilt and regret. I don't really know out of what. I think a lot out of like anxiety and just like general like existence and like being a girl, to be honest. But I remember just beating myself up so much as a kid and just always living in regret. And so the most recent thing that I've been thinking, that I tell to like my like little cousin who's like maybe like 10 and she's so cute and full of life, and is obsessed with music and is obsessed with Ice Spice also. Just a side note, so we bond over that. But I'm just like, you actually are doing everything right. Like, it's totally fine. Like, I would not change a thing. I would not go back to any point in my life personally and change the way I acted, did anything, was at the wrong place, said the wrong thing at the wrong time. I'm actually good on it because I've lived in so much regret and beating myself up for so many things for so long. And it actually just took away from my quality of life and from my happiness. And so the only piece of advice I would give or tell my younger self is just like, really good job. Like, really good job. Like, it's totally okay. Like, you're going to fuck up 1,000 times, and you're also going to do the same thing tomorrow, and that's okay. As long as you live in, like, a place of, like, I'm going to be at least aware of how my actions affect myself and other people and move from there, you didn't do anything to, unless you killed someone. But you didn't, you're good. You're good. Like, just, like, be at ease a little bit. And I wish I would have done that more as a kid.
Do you do that now?
Next question. No, I am better about it now. I'm a lot better about it now.
Yeah. Julie has our next question. Julie?
Oh, hey.
Guess okay.
Hey, Julie.
How often do you change your lyrics before they're finalized? Love you.
It depends on the song, Julie. So there are certain songs, as we know, songwriting is very important to me. There are certain songs where I am married to things and they will never change, and I'm so damn stubborn about it, and nobody could tell me anything and they are staying, right? Like in the kitchen, I used to work with somebody who didn't like the knife ER line, and I was like, what? I was like, so that's actually incorrect. That's actually like that's a factually wrong opinion of yours. Like, don't speak again. Yeah, and also we just like, we weren't cool, so it was just a whole other thing. But I digress. Yeah. But yeah, so on certain things, I'm absolutely sticking to my guns. Like the first thing that comes to my mind is usually the right thing. That being said, there's a song on this album called Poison Poison. And thanks. Much appreciated. And we have a few versions of the song, and there's a reason. I'm a very accurate songwriter. Like, I write things as they are, and I like to really be honest and make sure that it is truthful and is accurate to my experience as a human being, but also is representative of the situation and what have you. Sometimes those go too far. Right? So we have a couple versions of Poison Poison because Alexander listened back to the verses and was like, you literally cannot say this about this girl. And I was like, no, I can. And he was like, no, you can't. And also, this is just bad songwriting. Like, this is actually just not good. Like, there's no rhyme scheme. There's no structure. It's just slandering someone. And I was like, yeah, but that's the best part. And he was like, no. So you're actually operating from a place of hurt, and not like a thinking through something. So there's a couple different songs with different versions. So it just depends. I physically cannot. I will be harmed. Or she will. Up to God, but yeah.
Out of your hands now.
Yeah.
This is a two-parter from Jazz. I'm going to start with the second one first.
Jazz? Oh, hey. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm curious as well. What's your sweet green go-to?
Oh, so glad you asked. My sweet green go-to is, it depends on if it's during the day or if it's at night. If it's at night and I don't want to eat grains, because sometimes grains make my stomach hurt at night. It's a whole thing. If it's at night, I will not add grains. During the daytime, brown rice or quinoa, give or take, right? But we'll go with the night order, okay? Mixed grains. Pickled carrots and celery if they're in season. They are not always. I just want to point that out. Which is something I will be taking up with the team. Tomatoes, tofu, broccoli, onion slaw, like not slaw I guess here, but cabbage. Okay. Yeah. Where I'm from you got slaw. Cabbage, spicy cashew dressing. I usually go home and put extra hot sauce on it. Thank you. And yeah, I think I remembered everything. We'll see. But that sounds about right. Feels good to me. Yeah.
The Reneé special.
Cholula. Yeah, don't get it twisted. Yeah.
Jazz is also wondering, when you sing songs differently live, do you ever wish you recorded it that way instead?
You know, no, actually, because I love when a live version is different than something that is recorded. It's exciting to me. And I also, I grew up, singing in, choir and whatnot, but I also grew up singing with, my friends, jazz band. And, again, way before I was 21, at places that I really legally should not have been at. But, my God, it was fun, and I just wanted to perform. I just wanted to sing. So they did let me in, which is sus in retrospect. But I loved singing with them because it was so much improv, like Snarky Puppy that I was talking about. And it's exciting. It keeps you on your toes. It also keeps you musical. It also challenges you. I think when I do things live, I view it as a challenge. Hello. That's the most me shit I've ever said out loud. But I do, because I'm okay, if I can do this one night, can I do this better the next night? And also, can this note kind of clash with this and do a third here, and then we move into something different? And some people actually don't like how that sounds, but I know a lot of people that actually will, because that or itches a certain thing that somebody from Berkeley would love, you know? So I don't actually. I really like when things are different live than they are recorded. I also I'm trying at least to grow every day as a singer. I'm still learning. So I love singing songs that I had on my EP now that I did then. Hello? You get what I'm saying? Because I'm okay, how much can I challenge myself again? So yeah. Yeah, it's really healthy. It's going very well for me. Super well. It's always been really comforting, too, to know that you can always get better. No, it's not comforting. It's demented. It's so scary to, after every show, be what could I have done better? Not good job, Reneé. It's no, that was bad. You know, I digress. What's up?
We have Andrew, who says, "Hi, Reneé. Can you please explain the album cover and a little bit about what it means? Also, I love you very much."
Okay, Illy. First of all, where are you? Oh, hey, babe.
Amazing handwriting.
Amazing handwriting. Let me see. Oh, that is good. Nice. The hearts are nice too. Yeah. So I have obviously always dreamt of making my first album, and I also really, really, really was dying for the album cover to be. I wanted it at least to feel like something. A moment and iconic. I love a good album cover. I think it's so cool. I think it's a part of the packaging, obviously, but it really goes into the brand, right? You don't look at a Carpenter's cover and think oh, what a lovely picture. You think that is the fucking Carpenters. That is what you see, you know? And same thing with the Outfield or even Lady Gaga or stuff like that. It is so distinct. And it's a part of it, right? So it was always very important to me. I felt a couple things with the cover. I knew that I wanted it to have a contrast thematically. I knew that I wanted it to read, at least I hope, in my best try, to read and be received like my music does or how I try to write it, which is it's saying one thing, but it could also mean a completely different thing that's underneath it, and it's all where that comes from. And so I loved the idea of it being this bored sort of face and then having something crazy going on around it, but I didn't want it to be any outside object. I wanted it to be from me. And also my static hair around me, for those of you that have seen it, is a halo. And so it's it's a little halo, and the album's called Snow Angel. And yeah, I wanted it to be hot, too. I wanted it to be hot. What am I supposed to say? Yeah, thanks.
Sorry, not a fan question, a me question. I'm picturing, like, rubbing balloons on your head.
That's what we did.
Okay.
No, that is incredibly what we did, yeah. We had, Marissa, my hairstylist, we had, like, big, like, black balloons, and we had, like, maybe 3 or 4 people rubbing them around my head for 30 minutes. Just getting shocked, yes. And I was also really uncomfortable because I, like, wanted you to see my collarbones in a kind of way, and I was like, you know. So yeah, no, it was balloons. None of the hair is photoshopped.
It's incredible.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
That is cool.
Yeah, science.
Okay, 2 more fan questions.
Yeah.
Is it ever emotionally difficult to revisit painful experiences when singing your songs?
No, not at all. It's incredibly painful. It's incredibly painful. Are you kidding me? I'm like, hang on. No. I'm like, no, that actually doesn't hurt. Recounting, like, all of the different, like, traumatic experiences that have happened to me for, like, 6 hours pretty much every day back to back with sometimes strangers. That feels fine. Yes, it hurts. But I, do it because I love it. And it has always been exactly what I was going to do. And again, the way that I felt like I could communicate and the way that I felt like I was communicated with best as a kid was through music and through amazing songwriters that I was lucky enough to be able to listen to. And I heal from it. Like, that is my, like, therapeutic release. That is it for me. And it's everything to me. So I love it even when it hurts, because when it hurts, I know that it's good, which might be a little sick and twisted, but I don't really care. I mean, like, when I saw Frank Ocean at Coachella, I've understood, God bless you, I understood fan culture for the first time in my life. Like, I was like, oh, I get it. Because I'm not a religious person, but I left being like, I'm actually not about to make a Jesus joke. Yeah, I know, we're all surprised. I'm not a religious person, but I literally left Coachella being like, I had a very spiritual experience, and I feel extremely, I know it sounds very cliche, but I feel so healed by having watched this. And I feel very understood, and I feel like I've just processed things that I wasn't able to process in a certain way. So, yeah.
This last one I love. If you woke up in a Groundhog's Day scenario and each day started with the same song, what would it be? Yeah, right? You didn't sign your name, but this is an excellent question.
Who asked it?
Wow.
Star, front row. Come on. What's your name? K? K-A-Y? K-A-E? Hot. If I woke up in, like, a Groundhog Day situation... it would be no, I'm actually going to I'm going to make a real answer. It's going to be very genuine. It would be a Carpenter song. It would be Top of the World. It's so cute and so good and so sweet, but that's because my dad always used to sing that song to me, like, in the car growing up as a kid, and it's so, like, lighthearted and really, really, like, also, if you hear it, like, maybe every day in a groundhog situation, it's probably going to be a little, like, eerie. It could potentially turn into some, like, horror movie kind of thing. But, you know, in real life, it's a beautiful, beautiful song. And I just have, like, it's just my, like, familial kind of ties. So I would say Top of the World. It's so good. So good.
Okay, just excellent song. Yeah. Just to add on before we break, before your performance.
Yeah.
This is maybe impossible. If it had to be one of your own songs that you had to wake up to every day, which would that be?
If I had to wake up to one of my own songs every day, it would be Too Well. Yeah, and not for good reason. It would be, right. It would be Too Well because that's the song that I've talked the most shit on publicly. And I've said that I am the least proud of my songwriting in. And I said... in writing, we have this in so many places that I said, and I quote, I will never, ever let this song see the light of day. And then everybody was like, no, it's actually quite good. And I was like, I'm amazed that you guys think that. And I love that. Y'all have made me like it. Yeah, y'all have made me like it. But it would be Too Well because it does haunt me. My Groundhog Day is happening. I gotta perform it everywhere I go. I'll do it later. Like, truly. Like, yeah. I mean, come on. Like, you just beat it into my head, so.
Well, that was a perfect transition. We have some music coming up, which I cannot wait for. Thanks. Yes. So everybody stay seated, stay comfortable, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was amazing.
Thanks, babe.
Thank you. You're so sweet.